It was early morning again in Grado. The town was quiet, the streets were empty, and the first light of the day was just appearing on the buildings. No rush, no noise, just a calm morning and the anticipation of another day on the Camino. So friends, today is the second stage from Grado to Salas. I'm modifying the stages slightly because, as I said yesterday, we don't want to walk more than 30 kilometers a day. Grado is a beautiful little town. You might think there isn't much here, but it's quiet and pleasant. There are an ATM, pharmacies, and yesterday we had a really good meal with some locals in the center along the promenade. The hotel was great, a perfect mattress, fresh smelling towels, and an excellent breakfast. So far, we were very happy. Today, we have 22 kilometers ahead of us. It will probably be hot as hell again. The route starts with a big climb, about 4 or 5 kilometers uphill. Then we go back down, climb a little more, and the final 5 kilometers are uphill again. The cafe behind is already open. We have coffee for the breakfast, so we can set off towards Salas straight away. Take care and enjoy today's video and today's stage. Bye! The town was slowly waking up. Shops were opening, a car passed by, and we could hear people starting their day. But we were already focused on the road ahead, the hills waiting for us, and whatever this next day on Camino would bring. One of the advantages of starting early on the weekday is that cafes are already open. The weekends was more difficult. Yesterday almost everything was closed. But from Monday to Friday, cafes are open almost everywhere. I would say on practically every corner. So if your accommodation doesn't include breakfast, or if you are staying in albergos, you can easily buy a coffee, a baguette, or something else in the morning. All right, bye. And we started climbing again. The town stayed behind us, and our first views of the countryside opened up ahead. The sun was just rising over the hills, and the valley below was still covered in a light morning haze. The day was quiet, but it was already getting quite warm. We walked between the fields and meadows while the path slowly climbed upwards. We met some local farmers taking their cows out to pasture. It was an ordinary part of their daily routine, but it reminded us that life here still follows the seasons. On the hills around us, we could see the typical Asturian horeos, stone or wooden granaries raised on the pillars. Farmers have used them for centuries to store corn, grain, and other food, protected it from moisture and animals. They are so typical of Asturias that they become one of the symbols of the region. Then came the first major climb of the day. The path became steeper and our breathing became a little bit more difficult. But with every step, the view behind us improved. The valleys stretch out below, the hills continue into the distance, and for a moment it felt as if the whole world was quiet. Just before the top of the hill, we took a short break to drink some water, catch our breath, and enjoy the view once more before continuing. Friends, two Czech sayings came to my mind. The first one, you never eat the soup as hot as you cook it. I thought about it when we climbed the first hill and we reached a flat section, and I was thinking, what were those maps talking about? They said we have 5 kilometers uphill, but it was probably only about 600 meters. The second saying is, don't count your chicken before they hatch, because what came afterwards was definitely serious. So believe the maps, the first part of the second day from Grado really is 5 kilometers uphill. Anyway, so I'm going to have a cigarette and then we'll continue. On the Camino, sometimes it's more difficult to walk downhill than uphill. To avoid damaging your ankles and the muscles around them, the best way to go downhill is like this. It's a zigzag. Yes, you take a few extra steps, but you don't put as much pressure on your shins. You don't need walking poles to slow yourself down. You can come down the hill comfortably, as if nothing is happening. Further on, we cross the new highway, which is part of the major infrastructure project that is gradually changing the way people travel through Asturias. It was an interesting contrast. On one side, there was a modern road, fast and efficient. On the other, there was the old pilgrimage route, slow and deliberate, following the same general direction for centuries. After crossing the highway, the landscape opened again into the fields and meadows. The sun was already high, and the coolness of the morning had been replaced by the steady warmth of the afternoon. We pass small groups of houses, gardens and more traditional horeos until we reach the village of Cornellana. Cornellana lies at the meeting point of two rivers, the Narcea and the Nonaia. The strategic location helped make it an important stop on the Camino Primitivo almost 1,000 years ago. The village grew around the monastery of San Salvador, which has been the spiritual and historical center of this place since the beginning of the 11th century. Hello, here is a quick update. We are in the town of Cornellana, This is probably the only place along the route where you can get something to eat and drink. Behind me there's a petrol station with a small bar, and in front of us there's another cafe, so you can get coffee, beer, sandwiches, and then continue on your way. It's almost exactly halfway between Grado and Salas, and at the petrol station you have to pay in cash. In the bar you might be able to pay by card, but we were not there. You can also get a Camino stamp here at the petrol station and the toilet. There's even a bakery nearby. So this is a small town right at the middle of the route, a good place to stop for refreshment. There is also an ATM across the road if you need to withdraw the money. And there's also the pharmacy a little further ahead as well. Buen camino! The monastery of San Salvador in Cornellana was founded in 1024 by Infanta Cristina, the daughter of the King Bermudo II of Leon. After her husband died, she chose this place for the rest, prayer, and to be buried here. In 1122, the monastery was given to the Abbey of Cluny in France and became part of the powerful network of monasteries that shaped the religious life in medieval Europe. From that point on, Cornellana became one of the most important monastic centers in Asturias and an important place for pilgrims traveling to Santiago.
Like tiny, slow descending stars.
The monastery is part of the UNESCO World Heritage listing for the Camino Santiago, recognizing its historical and spiritual importance. Its Romanesque church, with its thick stone walls and simple, serious beauty, still carries the weight of the centuries of prayers, footsteps, and pilgrims' hopes. Standing there, it was easy to imagine the medieval pilgrims who had passed through the same courtyard, tired, hopeful, and carrying their own personal reasons for walking. For a moment, the noise of the present disappeared. All that remained was the quiet presence of the monastery and the river flowing nearby. After Cornellana, the path became to climb again. The landscape was a mixture of the open fields, small woods, and scattered farmhouses. We met several other pilgrims, some of them we had already seen the day before, while others were new faces. There is a special kind of friendship on the Camino. People from different countries and different lives are all walking in the same direction, connected by the same rhythm of the walking. Hello, here's a quick update from the route. We are at the 14.8 kilometers on the way to Salas, just past the factory. There is a small corner here where you can buy drinks. I probably wouldn't risk the coffee. The machine looks rather questionable. But the vending machine for the soft drink is very interesting. We bought the Fanta for €1.50 and then we tried to buy water for 60 cents. And another Fanta came out. So if you want Fanta, buy water. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? You have saved 90 cents and get 2 drinks for the price of the one. Bye! We had about 5 kilometers left to Salas. The path led between fields and pastures, with sheep grazing on the hills. The warmth of the day was still with us, but knowing that we were close to our destination made every step feel a little easier. Hello, 17.3 kilometers. There's a water here and what looks like an old washing area. Maybe it was a public laundry in the past. You can probably splash some water on yourself and maybe even fill your bottles. The pilgrims in front of us have filled their bottles. We still have enough water, so we don't need to refill yet. And there's also a sign saying that there should be another bar a little further ahead. We have about 4.5 kilometers left to the alberg, so we are going to have a snack, sit here for a while, and then continue. Ciao for now. Hello! If you're still watching, thank you very much. It would be great if you subscribe to my channel, like the video and share it. It would really help the YouTube recommend my videos to more people. We have the last 4.5 kilometers to our accommodation, so here's a little summary of the day. Today we walk only 22 kilometers and this stage isn't particularly difficult, part of the beginning. As I said, there is a place to stop for refreshing, roughly halfway through the route. I'm also starting to get used to the Camino. This is only the second day, but suddenly the backpack doesn't feel as heavy anymore. My bag is beginning to adjust. We put some cream on our feet before setting off, and it's especially important to drink plenty of water. When you start feeling tired, stop and rest. Don't push yourself until you have nothing left. As I said in the very first video, good shoes and positive attitude are important. On the Camino, you can't plan everything. You just have to accept whatever happens. And what I enjoy the most, what the Camino really means to me, is that you slowly begin to disconnect from the rest of the world. I said that I wanted to get away from Czech Republic because, in my opinion, the atmosphere there has become quite strange. Everyone seems convinced that they are right, and I feel that the country is ended up in a bit of the dead end. So I came to Spain. I don't understand most of what people say here. I know about 4 words in Spanish, but somehow we always manage to communicate. I don't have to follow the news or deal with everything happening at home. Most importantly, I turned off the notification on my phone, no Facebook, no WhatsApp, and no emails. I'm disconnected from the world. I only turn everything back on when I need it. Maybe that is what the real life should feels like sometimes. We still have about 4.5 kilometers to go, so I'll see you shortly. Just before Salas, we crossed an old stone bridge over the river Nonaia. The Puente de Casa Zorina, sometimes called the Puente de la Casa Zorina. The bridge itself dates from the 18th century, but the settlements around is much older. The name Casa Zorina probably comes from the nickname or the name of one of the first landowners in the area. In the village, you can still see many traditional horeos or paneras, larger granaries typical of the local style. They are quiet reminders of centuries of farming life. There is also a small chapel dedicated to Saint Anna, which, according to the local tradition, was consecrated by Adolfo, the first bishop of Oviedo. For pilgrims, this bridge marked the final stretch before Salas, a small but meaningful crossing between the countryside and the medieval town ahead. We arrive in Salas. Before we get to accommodation, let's see what we can find in the town. Hello, so far I've discovered that there is a hairdresser here in case you need to fix your hairstyle. It's right at the beginning of the Salas. There's also a supermarket in front of me, Alimerca, if you need to restock. Beer, wine, water, clothes, flowers, whatever you need. It's quite a cozy little town. There is even a pet shop, everything for the 60 euro cent. So well, keep filming then. In the moment we should see a beautiful tower. There is a Banco Sabadell here, so there should be an ATM if you need money. Yeah, the albergue is just behind the church, and this church looks beautiful. I definitely have to take a closer look. It's really impressive. Salas is one of the best preserved medieval towns in Asturias. Its historical center is officially protected as a site of the historical interest, with narrow streets, stone houses, and a layout that still feels connected to the past. Two buildings dominate the main square: the Collegia Church of Santa Maria la Mayor and the Palace of Grado Salas, a castle-like building from the 16th century that was now being converted into the boutique hotel. The Grado Salas family was one of the most influential noble families in the region. One of its members, Fernando Grado Salas, even founded the University of Oviedo. During the Middle Ages, Salas had a hospital dedicated to San Roch, documented as early as the 15th century. It offered shelter and care for the pilgrims passing through. Together with the hospice in Cornellana, it formed part of the support network that helped make the long journey to Santiago possible. That gate is beautiful. This is a really beautiful town. I'm looking forward to explore it, but first, I need a shower. As I said yesterday, there are many ways to sleep on the Camino. You can sleep outdoors, in an albergue, in a hotel, or in a hostel. You can pay very little, make donations, or spend quite a lot. We choose something in the middle. We booked our accommodation through booking.com. The disadvantage is that you have to walk according to your plan, because booking.com usually takes the payment in advance, so if your plans change, you might lose your money, unless the hotel is kind enough to make an exception. I was attracted by the reviews and booked one of the most beautiful albergues here. a little outside of the town, surrounded by nature. So, we'll see what it's like. So, hello, here we are. This is our albergue for tonight, and it looks exactly how I imagined it. There is a restaurant and a bar here, and our albergue is over that corner. We'll show you around in a moment. So this is our albergue today. There is a washing machine, a dryer, a small kitchen in case anyone wants to cook. Of course, you leave your shoes and walking poles here. The restaurant downstairs serves dinner from 6 p.m. and breakfast is also available from 6 a.m. in the morning, which is great. There is a small sitting area here, and I assume the shower are over there. Someone is already using them. And here are the beds. We can choose whichever one we want. So, have a good night everyone, and I see you tomorrow. Ciao!